Thank you so much for the great introduction, and thank you for this moment. I would love to begin with a confession. I do not remember the first time I existed online. And to feel less alone, I would love to assume that you do not remember your first time either. Or do you? I'll leave that for yourself to answer. But somehow, somewhere, we all left behind our first digital crumbs with less or no awareness of the journey we're just getting ourselves into. Maybe it was a grainy selfie that you once thought cute, a Facebook password of an account you have long forgotten, or the moment you downloaded TikTok or Minecraft swearing just for 5 minutes and somehow joined an online lifelong cult. But I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine waking up one day and realizing that you and a million of strangers are just shipped into a brand new island. No signposts, no humans who've lived there before, no rules carved in a stone, just land still forming beneath your feet. And that is what I think growing up in the digital age feels like, navigating an uncharted island. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the first generation ever to live in a world which is not only fully digitized, but in a constant motion of change. And I know in your head you're thinking, oh Maggie, every generation has faced change of its own. Of course, I'm not saying that we are the first generation to experience change. Human history is a long story of people navigating through uncertainties. The introduction of sea routes and ships took centuries to shape how people moved from one place to another. The introduction of the Industrial Revolution took years to shape how people worked and how they adapted to their families. Even the early internet took years to move from universities into homes. What I'm trying to say here is that generations have faced change in chapters, but we did not. We're not given the time to adapt. We're not given the time to pass down lessons. We live in a world that updates faster than we do. Our memories live in clouds that we cannot touch. Our friendships stretch across continents. Our dreams fit into notes apps. And our heartbreaks can't be screenshotted. Our identities are constant works in progress, edited, filtered, deleted, rewritten, reposted. And somehow we're expected to have life figured out. I wonder. When I was younger, I used to believe that everyone else on this island had a map, and I was the only one wandering without a GPS. The more I scrolled in the internet, the more I felt like I was a buffering version of myself loading at 2%, and everyone else knew exactly what they were doing. But with my experience in the digital island, I have learned something quite evolutionary. No one really has a map. You are not lost. Everyone else is searching the way you are. We're all trying to adapt in a world that moves faster than we can. And we are not a lost generation. We are a searching one. And people who search are pioneers. I can confidently say that the world has never belonged to young people the way it does right now. The power of the internet and technology is allowing us to do things that the older generations could only imagine of. It's allowing us to do things that the older generation could not think of performing. But it's also allowing us to make mistakes that we cannot erase. So when people decide to debate, is the digital island good or bad? I think they're debating the wrong thing. Because an island by itself can never become good or bad. An island becomes what its people decide to build on it. So I'm going to share a story of how I did one of the buildings in this digital island. I wrote my first blog post when I was 14, 2018. In it, I yapped about something that weighed heavily on my young mind. I yapped about how governments, specifically in Africa, stressed on theoretical education rather than practical education. I wondered how Youth, especially in Tanzania, were supposed to thrive in the digital age while still stuck on the technical know-how. I wondered why youth were always planned for, decided for, but never welcomed at the decision-making tables. I wondered how youth were supposed to make decisions for themselves if not given the space to. I knew somehow, somewhere, someone would view this post. But what I never imagined is that what would grow after this? Conversations grew around it. What was a single frustration online did not end online. It grew to something else, which is now called the Mimi na Jamii Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, Mimi na Jamii is a Swahili translation for I and the community, placing a youth at the center of community development, but also an extension of the spirit Ubuntu. That is to say, I am because we are. Mimi na Jamii Foundation is a youth-led network of over 250 youth across Tanzania and diaspora, working to empower communities in the areas of health, education, and technology. Since its launch in 2021, the Mimi na Jamii Foundation has been able to reach over 1,000 people, including students, in school and out of school, through health awareness campaigns, inclusive education programs, and scholarly opportunities like the Jamii Scholars Fund, which enables youth from underserved communities to get practical training and vocational training for free. We have been able to do this through private donations and community fundraisers organized by our youth volunteers. While the number 2,809 might sound small in the big, vast, wild world of social media, if 2,809 people knocked at my door today and told me we love and support what you're doing, I'd probably faint. What began online never stayed online. And although I admit to have never met some of the members in my online community, it continues to remind me the power of online communities as much as physical communities. What the internet gave me was not a shortcut. The internet gave me a possibility that belongs to each and every one of us here today. And it continues to shape my perspective about how I view this land. Moist, fertile, and which has the potential to grow everything that you plant in it. This island does not care about what you're passionate about. If you care about music, poetry, science, activism, fashion, whatever that you name it, it has the potential to grow on this island. And what fascinates me the most is that this island allows you to become more than one version of yourself. What you see right there is my Instagram bio, showing Pageant Queen, student doctor, and a founder of the Mimi na Jamii Foundation. This is a possibility belonging to each and every one of us. The digital island allows us to have the freedom to become many versions of ourselves. You can be a student and an entrepreneur. You can be a dancer and a scientist. And the possibilities are endless. Every day I meet people who are not just one thing. And this is an opportunity to only our generation. The older generations were told to specialize early, to stay in one lane, to focus on one thing. But we have the potential to become as many things as we can. So this is an opportunity for you to build a lane of your own, because we are in an island that allows us to build our own lane. And this abundance is a privilege. But with privilege comes responsibility. And this is how we know that the digital island remembers. It remembers everything that we post, everything that we normalize, everything that we ignore, everything that we name as culture. And everything that we build today will be the terrain that the next generations will follow. The footprints that we leave on this island will not be washed away by the sand. The footprints will remain. And I want us to remember that we are the last generation in history that will know what life felt like before social media. And so it is our responsibility to take these lessons with us to the future. It is our responsibility to take the value of community, of integrity, of honesty, and of authenticity to the future. My call to action is to build on this island with intention. Because long after our posts disappear in the timeline, long after everything we have normalized right now disappears in the timeline, the culture that we built will remain. This island will become what its people decide to build on it. So let's build on it with intention, humanly, and boldly, because the world has never belonged to young people the way it does right now. Thank you.